Okay. Well, now that you've heard the alternatives, we should check out and see what would really work if we implement the DREAM Act. And so if the DREAM Act passes, it would pave the road to conditional legal status for over 360,000 current high school graduates, plus 715 younger students already enrolled in public schools. And if you do the math, that's a lot of money, because we right now have trouble with the financial school system. So enacting the DREAM Act will increase the number of people searching for jobs to make it harder to get one. More people will be unemployed, and immigrants will have a harder and longer process of becoming legal citizens. Now, it's going to be really expensive to implement the DREAM Act. So let's look at the costs. On average, each illegal immigrant who attends a public institution will receive a tuition subsidy from taxpayers of nearly $6,000 for each year. If he or she attends a total cost of $6.2 billion a year. And that's a lot of money, not including other forms of financial assistance that they may also receive, or also the price of their tuition, since each state varies from state to state. Now, under Obama, there has been a record number of deportations. So what does that mean to us? That means that there has been more illegal immigrants in the United States, more than there has ever been before. So adding that to the argument of enacting the DREAM Act will only slow down the financial recovery for schools, and it would also slow down financial assistance for most people that already need it now. It will slow down government programs that will take much more time and resources that are presently scarce. For example, scholarships and Pell Grants and federal grants. Most people have a hard time trying to get those nowadays, so it's really hard for them. It will take a lot of time and money to implement the DREAM Act. Not only will you have to worry about paying for those kids to go to school, but you're going to also have to pay for social workers and a whole bunch of other government-related jobs that will help creating those visas and provisional resident cards. It will cut funding from other needed social programs as well. We have a very tight budget in our economy right now, so presenting the DREAM Act would only slow things down in government and would only cause more filibusters, as it has been reported that it hasn't worked before. In 2010, the federal DREAM Act was blocked by a 56-43 Republican-led filibuster in the Senate. It was reintroduced last spring, and it would allow undocumented students brought into the U.S. as children to jump the line to citizenship, either by earning a college degree or serving in the military for 2 years. So what does this prove to us? It proves that it hasn't worked before, this revised version of the DREAM Act. And so what's stopping it from passing it again if it hasn't passed before? According to the affirmative, these DREAM Act members will be known as F1 and M1, which stands for their status. And it will be really hard for these students to even have a job in the current job market, where the unemployment rate is as high as it's been in many years. The DREAM Act will allow and help out many immigrants to go to college, but there will be a large number of immigrants unable to go. For example, the affirmative claims that those who come to the U.S. before they're 16 years old or less, or are here for longer than 5 years, will receive the DREAM Act benefits. However, what's going to happen to the rest of those people or immigrants who haven't been here for that long or have been here and graduated already? Will they be allowed to? And that's an interesting question to ask. And also, the DREAM Act only requires 2 years of college and no degree is necessary. The income gains for having some college but no degree are modest. Because college dropout rates are high, many illegal immigrants who enroll in public institutions will not complete the 2 years that the Act requires, so taxpayers will bear the expense without a long-term benefit. And that's only to say if the rates are true. However, numbers don't always lie. And so the cost estimate assumes that the overwhelming majority will enroll in community colleges, which are much cheaper for students and taxpayers than state universities. However, that kind of defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do here. If you're trying to send a child to school, you're hoping that they will come out with a degree, hopefully from a four-year college. However, since the cost for such a measure is unbearable for many, as it is nowadays, it would make it harder for immigrants to enroll and succeed in their schooling. And so, And so also the DREAM Act sets up the wrong incentives and encourages more people to break the law. Among several other concerns, the DREAM Act rewards those who violate immigration laws by granting them in-state tuition, while state laws deny illegal aliens on student visas tuition benefits. The Act's law standards would make it tough to police for fraudulent applicants, while the government would be prohibited from using information submitted to deport anyone who files a DREAM Act application and does not qualify, thus making it hard to look for fraudulent cases. The DREAM Act sends a message to every teenager on planet Earth, pretty much. Come to America. If you ever enter the United States before age 16 and you can remain here for 5 years, or if you can buy papers, and if you can buy papers that purport to show you that you have lived here for 5 years. In other words, most people sometimes buy fake visas or use someone else's social security numbers, then you're as good as a citizen already. No deportation proceedings, no risk that your application will be used against you. Lenient and subsidized requirements for permanent residency will be taken. So in other words, what's stopping someone else from coming to the United States to become a citizen and taking our taxpayers' money while they are here and not paying taxes? And that's something that's really interesting that you should probably think about. And the affirmative failed to address that. So it's susceptible to fraud. And what that means is that the DREAM Act rewards those who violated immigration laws. There are already many laws already intact that prohibit immigrants from coming to the United States, and this would only just add to it. This is like playing a slot machine without having to put any money in. Any illegal alien can apply. If he wins, it's great. But if he loses, he can't be prosecuted, even if he lied through his teeth about everything. No amnesty proposal can be taken seriously unless applicants are made to understand right up front that any lies, no matter how trivial, will result in arrest and imprisonment. And also, it's too expensive and too costly to implement in the United States. On average, each illegal immigrant who attends a public institution will receive a tuition subsidy from taxpayers of nearly $6,000 for each year, which is almost nearly as much as any regular American citizen who is attending a 4-year or a 2-year currently. And so this raises another question. What's going to happen to Social Security if these illegal immigrants are granted amnesty through the DREAM Act? As you can tell, the Social Security program in the United States nowadays is roughly and strictly creating a burden to most people who reach that age to be eligible for Social Security, and enacting the DREAM Act will only make it more difficult for those citizens who are already working nowadays. And so the number of citizenship in America will make schools and jobs and other resources more impacted, and students who are already qualified for citizenship will receive less financial aid. There will be less money available for those.
I'm going to cut you off. I think you're over a minute over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I was going to say. That the last point was going to be that most people who receive financial aid will already be suffering from its consequences, and would only have to have more budget cuts.